Hello, today we're going to talk about sleeping posture and what kind of pillows you should be using when you're sleeping and in what position. Everyone always asks us as osteopaths what pillows, how thick, how many, where they should be, so we thought this would be quite a useful blog to do. There is no one perfect pillow. There are better sleeping positions than others, but we'll go through each one. Usually if you're a sleeper, if you like sleeping on your front, which is probably ergonomically the worst for your, particularly your neck and your back, usually that's the one that needs the most additional help in terms of where to place your pillows. But we'll go through each one nice and quickly, hopefully, and give you a brief overview of what you should be looking for and how it should be feeling. So behind me I've got my trusty bed and a stack of pillows here. Each of these pillows, we've got one that's very, very squashy. This is actually a down pillow, this is my favourite, but as I say, every person is different. It depends on what your body is doing. This is very, very squashy, useful for some things. I'll put that there for now. We've got that sort of medium density pillow that's of a medium thickness. Again, very useful for some things. And then last of all, we've got a much thicker, much firmer pillow, which is useful for if you've got a very, very stiff upper back and you like sleeping on your back. So we'll go through starting off sleeping on your back. So if I climb up here, if I start off with no pillow, you can see that my neck and back is actually very flat. This is not a bad position if you do have quite a flat upper back, so sort of from your neck down to the bottom of your rib cage. If that's very flat, you might find that sleeping on no pillow is actually very comfortable. People often use too many pillows rather than too few. If it's a little bit stiffer and you're finding that your neck or your upper back is starting to ache slightly when you're in this position, what I would suggest is you take either the small but slightly firmer pillow, try that and lie down. That should give you just enough support to support the back of your neck there, and take the weight of your head essentially off your upper back. If that's too much, going back to the very, very squashy pillow is quite useful because it compresses down really nicely and just provides a little bit of support for either side of the head, so that if it flops to one side, the pillow is there to support you. That is on your back for your for your neck and your shoulders. What to think about? Often people get lower back pain when they're asleep on their back. What can you do about this? Well, the easiest one is to pull the pillow, and this one, it doesn't matter what size the pillow is. If you put a pillow under, sort of really tuck it up into your pelvis and then rest. What that does is it allows your pelvis to stay in a little bit more of a neutral position. When your legs are straight, your pelvis tends to pull forwards, which arches your upper back, which can put some strain through the joints at the back there. Having a pillow under your thighs and your knees can be really, really useful. If this isn't enough and you need your pelvis to be tucked under a little bit more, what I would suggest is take either this squashy pillow or this thinner pillow and just tuck it under the very base of your pelvis, so here, and then have this thicker one here. So what that's doing is it allows your pelvis to drop into that gap. Play around with it, see what's comfortable. So next position is on our side. This applies obviously both sides, I'll do it to one. This squashy pillow here, if we lie down, you'll see what my head is doing. It's dropping down into the table, so it's probably not supportive enough. If I fold it in two, that's a little bit better. So we like that a little bit more. If we take the thin pillow, again, this probably gives us enough support. You can see my head, my upper back is roughly in line. My shoulder here is probably a little bit compressed, so we probably want it a little bit higher, but not too much. If we go to, lots of pillow shuffling, the much thicker supportive pillow, That's probably the best. So if I'm lying on my side, I either want a double thickness, really squashy pillow or this thicker pillow. You can see that it's supporting the gap here. And that's what you want the pillow to do, so that your spine is in as neutral a position as possible. Now, again, going to the lower extremities, sometimes lying on your side can be painful in your lower back. You can find you get pain coming down your hip. And what you can do is you can put a pillow in between your legs. Again, this squashy one is probably not enough. So if we double it up, that just opens out this hip and gives your lower back a little bit more room to breathe. If you're pregnant and you've got a nice big bump here, you might find that having a pillow tucked underneath can just support your bump. So your bump sits on this pillow and it just takes the drag away from that and pulling you forwards. That can be really good. Now, the last sleeping position that we're going to look at is obviously face down. This is the most difficult one to ergonomically create a neutral position for your neck and spine. It is possible, but it is difficult. A lot of people, if I do a typical positioning, will be like this. Now what happens, especially if you're using a pillow, if I bring my pillow here, my neck is extended and rotated and my arms are up. Essentially, it is like, I do a position, walking around every day like this, which you can imagine for hours on end becomes very, very uncomfortable, yet that's what people do when they're sleeping on their front for hours on end. So how can we correct it? If I get back up here, if your tendency is to rotate your head to one side, take that pillow and put it along the length of your body. Now, you want your head to be about at the corner here, and you want to rest your cheek so that it's just, your mouth is just falling off the edge. What that does is it allows your head to not be extended over the pillow because the pillow is lifting up your upper back here. It allows your neck to become a little bit more neutral and it just prevents the rotation but allows you to breathe because you can drop your mouth into the pocket here. What to do with the arms? Very counterintuitive. Bring them down. Very simple. Having the pillow here also provides some support for your stomach so that your lower back doesn't just go into extension, dropping into the sort of, you don't have ribs to protect your abdominal organs, and your spine will just drop into that gap, which can be a little bit uncomfortable. So having the pillow under here gives you a little bit of support. If you want more support, pull it under a little bit more. And there you go. And that hopefully should help you all sleep a little bit more soundly, a little bit more comfortably, and then it means you'll be waking up that little bit more refreshed.